Black and brown power. East Coast, West Coast, worldwide. You already know it's that black and that brown pride. Brown buffalo, dead Fred's. Let's ride.
So, as Ingrid said, this is Sala Comunitaria.
Como dice Ingrid, esa es la prensa comunitaria.
So, what is Sala Comunitaria? That's Community Newsroom.
Es noticiero de comunidad.
Which really means that, unlike CNN,
se quiere decir que no como CNN,
we're PNN.
somos PNN.
Where the people live.
Work like a slave from the cradle to the coffin. Life or death at the mercy of the bosses. Flashbacks of how we got so.
Me llamo Jumbo.
And I've been with Poor Magazine, which is more than a magazine.
Estaba con Prensa Pobre
I've been part of the Poor family since birth, but I found my
desde
fellow
que nació,
siblings.
casi más de 10 años, una
It's
década.
more than words can express. And
Y es algo
it's the
que
one
no puedo
place where
expresar con mis palabras.
I'm not the only welfare queen.
Y estoy contenta que no soy la única.
Label Black and Brown is a concept that we don't own.
El café es un concepto.
We originated out of the
Nos originamos
Oscar Grant Committee
de la Comité de
that,
Oscar Grant,
with Longshore Union, shut down the ports October 23rd, 2010
nos apagó.
for Oscar Grant. It was a political strike.
Era una resistencia
What we
política.
stand for, what we
Lo que
wanted to do,
representamos, lo que queremos
was
hacer
a
es
political strike movement.
una
That is, the idea is they shoot us down, we shut it down. The idea is to get the working class working in political tandem with the black and brown community, okay, defending it and defending itself. The other side of that, which we attempted to do during the Longview, the current situation with Longview, back in December, when ILW was trying to organize busloads of unionists
queríamos organizar
to stop
la
some
unión
scabs
para que paren,
from breaking the union in Longview,
para
Washington.
que paren de quebrar la
Our
unión.
perspective was to organize 1 or 2 busloads of black and brown people to go up there. Not to pay the Longshore back,
No para
but
pagarles
to
a
exercise
Longshore,
what solidarity is
sino
about.
de que se
That
trata la
is,
solidaridad.
everybody
Todos
needs help and
necesitan
solidarity,
ayuda
physical
y
solidarity.
solidaridad
Plus,
física.
I look forward to young revolutionaries being on a picket line and learning those lessons
Revolucionarios que aprendan
with black and white workers.
estas cosas con
Good lessons in that,
trabajadores,
on the picket line when you're fighting. That's the best kind of education people can get. And it didn't occur because the Longshore made a deal with the
Longshore
company,
hizo una-
which I won't
un
describe.
contrato,
But the bottom line to it, we're looking for 10,000 workers.
estamos buscando 3,000
And
trabajadores
basically, we're going to be fighting the police.
y vamos a estar peleando
and-
con la policía
Not this punk-ass anarchism.
y no este
Where you pick fights with
anarquismo.
police
Thank you.
that you can't possibly win.
Thank you, exactly. I'm with you on that. The only positive side of it.
Okay, so after the ILW rally, October 23rd, which was successful, and they shut down ports in the whole Bay Area for Oscar Grant, the committee that formed after that had a political difference. There were those that wanted to, as the left does, mindless activism. Demonstration to demonstration to demonstration,
El que hace las
where obviously,
es
to
obviamente
us,
para nosotros.
we wanted to follow up
Queremos a seguir
with those workers
con esos trabajadores
and those
y
unionists
esos
and the unions
activistas
that came out
que salieron de allí
for Oscar Grant.
para Oscar Grant.
That is, we want more of those kinds of shows of
Queremos
force.
más de esos tipos
We
de
want to
cosas.
organize these people that
Queremos
are
organizar
in
estas
mobilization.
personas que están
We want to organize them into a
Queremos
ongoing
organizarlos para que con
working class, black and brown,
trabajadores
united front
de color,
that is able to defend
marrones o cafés,
all victims through
todas las
mobilizing
víctimas para
the friends
movilizarlos,
and participants of all
para que
victims. That is, we're all workers, whether we
que
got
son
jobs or
todos
not.
trabajadores.
Okay. So, Labor, Black, and Brown removed ourselves from the House of Grant Committee. And let me wrap this up. The most important thing that has happened in the last 6 months, a little less than a year, was the summer of last year where we saw the movement fracturing. That is, you had black people, Raheem Brown, Kenneth Harding, people still being shot by the police. And nothing was being done. I mean, we should have been having, okay, my idea as a professional revolutionary is when you have a victory, you consolidate that by gathering the forces that came out and you want to expand from that. Instead, we shrunk. And the whole movement shrunk. At the time when you had more killings, you had the ILWU under attack for striking April 4th for Wisconsin. You had workers Dorian Maxwell and Victor Grayson, the Muni workers, being fired. My former wife, Topaz, who works in Vallejo.
We know her.
Mental health. Yeah, we're going to talk afterward, yes. She was being fired. Other workers are being fired. And it made no sense for Raheem Brown's mother to be organizing a defense committee that has 10 people for a 25-person demonstration. The same for Kenneth Harding Jr. The same for everybody's having small demonstrations. What should happen, obviously, we should all be brought together.
That's right.
I will say it's the government's political program for that not to happen. And unfortunately, most of the left abides by that. I will end with that and let my comrades pick up on
So that's what we're about. We want to find allies, you know what I mean? Like, we're here to find allies. And I feel a lot of desire in this room to do something powerful. And that's what we want to do. And organizing all the labor to actually take things back, you know what I mean? Because if we have an indefinite general strike movement, one that can act at any point in time where injustice, happens, but we're united enough to act, to unite. If we want to take some houses in Mare Island, you know what I mean? If we had a general strike movement that was united, that could give things like that some cover, you know what I mean? To be able to, anytime the police want to try and mess with people squatting to take back the land, you know what I mean? We use the general strike movement to strike blows at them. And like Charles said, we're all working class, you know what I mean? Whether we're working or not, I'm unemployed, but I'm a working class person, you know what I'm saying? And so that's what we need to do. We need to build this general strike movement to take things back for ourselves, because the only way that we're going to get anything is if we take it for ourselves, because we built this country from the ground. And so I just want to shortly put that out there. That's what we want to do. We're on Facebook, Labor Black and Brown email. So Facebook is Labor Black and Brown. The email is laborblackbrown@yahoo.com. Other than that, we're still in the process of getting everything together, you know what I mean? So like with the phone number, you know what I mean? We don't have no office or nothing like that. So we meet at Laney College. That's part of the fragmentation, you know what I mean, of the movement, and so like trying to get the forces necessary together. That's why we're looking for allies, you know what I mean? So like
Do anyone have questions for our brothers and sisters? Yeah, go ahead.
I got a question.
So your guys' name, so your name is Labor Black and Brown. Is that specifically targeted for Black and Brown communities? And if it is, then how does that relate to red and yellow communities? And then also, just something I'd like to point out, I noticed you all are men, and so I was wondering what is like the women's participation in Labor Black and Brown and everything, just because the word labor a lot of times can always be more male heavy just in general in terms of what's recognized. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? I just want to know what's more of the gender participation of women in Labor Black and Brown, and then also red and yellow communities that are Black and Brown, but how do they participate in organization, or like what type of allies stuff do you like?
Well, coincidentally, I'm Black and Filipino, you know what I'm saying?
I already knew that.
What's brown?
We say labor, black and brown. Labor is the working class, which is all of us, an international class. In this country, black and brown is like the most, like oppressed sector in society. So we want to use the working class to defend black and brown people. It's not exclusionary to yellow or red, like part of our symbol is part of our symbol is labor, black, and brown is a tomahawk and a hammer. You know what I mean? To symbolize the native struggle over the medicine wheel of the 4 directions. So so the women's participation, I'm for women's liberation through workers' revolution. I believe that women's liberation can only begin to be worked on, like on a societal level, when we start taking things for ourselves. As far as women's participation, we have my mom. She's a member of Labor, Black, and Brown. You know what I'm saying? My wife consistently does work with Labor, Black, and Brown. We consistently do work with the Haiti Action Committee and Ayana Labossiere. But as far as membership and stuff like that, we have a few comrades in the women's charity organization of the All African People Revolutionary Unification Party.
It's really no different. They took off the chains, but our brains still ignorant. But who's the real immigrant oppressor? They don't want to deal with the question. The land you stand on was stolen from our ancestors.